This version of the software comes with a major redesign in the user interface and partially in the software's architecture. In this video, we will present the creative core of the software, that is, its Digitizing Tools, which will help you become familiar with this latest version of the software and bring your creative designs to life. As one would expect, the Digitizing Tools are located in the Digitize section of the Tools bar. The icon of the last used tool always remains visible, so you can activate it with a single click. If you need to select an alternative tool, just place the mouse cursor on top of this section, and the flyout menu appears with all the available tools. Move the mouse cursor on top of the tool you want to use, and click to start using it. Create any part, and right-click to finalize it. The selected tool is now visible on the toolbar for easier reuse. The available tools are the Outline Digitize, the PowerPoint Digitize, and the Freehand shapes. Notice that the PowerPoint Digitize tool is disabled, as you can only create satin and piping objects using the PowerPoint Digitize. Once you select Satin, the PowerPoint Digitize gets enabled and you may use it. This happens because with PowerPoint Digitize, when you set the 2 points that define the edges of the shape, you also set a direction for the stitches of the area. And then another direction for the next pair of points, and so on and so forth. In brief, PowerPoint Digitize exists to create such objects that can't be created in any other way. The Outline Digitize tool lets you draw any shape you like. A smooth curve or a line connects the nodes you define. You may create open curves, branched curves, or closed curves. The PowerPoint Digitize also lets you digitize shapes, but the way of punching is different. The nodes that you add need to always be in pairs to create the area of the object. The Freehand shapes lets you sketch as if drawing on a paper. Now that we've had a look at the available digitizing tools, let's dig in the digitizing process. Before you create any design part, you need to select the stitch type for the object to be created. You can do so from the Properties bar. For example, I will create a satin serial object using the Outline Digitize tool. This may be an open shape or a closed one. The same applies to the PowerPoint Digitize tool. Select satin or piping and define the edges of the shape in pairs. If you don't choose any stitch type, the last used type will remain selected. Likewise, if you select an object and then start a digitizing tool, the object that will be created will bear the stitch type and properties of the previously selected object. So, if you have a design with multiple objects which may have customized properties, and you want to create a new part similar to an existing one, select the part whose properties you want to copy, and then start a digitizing tool. In that way, the new object will have the stitch type and properties of the previously selected object, and therefore it will be placed right after the selected one in the embroidery sequence. One thing you should have in mind is that once you start the Digitize tool, and before setting the first point of the new shape, the Properties bar remains available and you can select an alternative stitch type. Likewise, before setting the first point, you can use the numbers from your keyboard to select the color for the object you are about to draw. So, pressing number 1 will choose the first color of the color bar, number 2 the second color, and so on until number 9, whereas number 0 would choose the 10th color of the color bar, provided of course that there are so many colors in the bar. The previously described procedure on how to select stitch type or color is the same no matter the Digitize tool you choose to use. So simply start any of the Digitize tools and start punching the shape you wish. The only difference is the way of punching, which has to do with the selected digitizing tool. Let me share a couple of tips about the digitizing process. While creating shapes, you may want some of them to be embroidered together and others to be separate. For example, if you want this part to be embroidered together with the next one, then they should be sections of the same object. Using a single right-click, the current section is finalized while the tool is still active so that you can start a new section. Now, both sections belong to the same object. When you're ready to end the current object, right-click twice. The outline tool remains active, but if you create a new part, it will be a separate object. You may also use Enter or Escape instead of right-clicking to finalize sections or objects. Using Enter or Escape key once, the current section is finalized. If you press any of these keys twice, the whole object is finalized. When an object is finalized and you need to release the tool, you can right-click once more, or click on the rectangle selection or use Enter or Escape keys. Basically, this is the way that you can create shapes with one or more sections. As you can see, the two sections previously created belong to the same object and they have connecting stitches, so they are embroidered together. We should also mention that in order to speed up the digitizing process, you may start digitizing specific stitch types using the F function keys on your keyboard as shortcut keys. For example, using F3, you can create running parts using the Outline Shapes tool. Pressing the shortcut key starts the Outline Digitize tool and selects the running type. Using F4 key, you can create Satin parts, this time using the Pair Point Digitize tool. You see, Pair Point Digitize tool feels more natural when creating Satin parts. Alternatively, you may create satin parts using the Digitize Outline tool, using the Shift and the F4 keys as shortcut for that one. With the F5 shortcut, you can create step objects. Have in mind that for step objects, you first need to define the direction of the stitches. With the F6 shortcut, you can create zigzag parts. Zigzag is a special type of satin, and that's why it is created using the Pair Point Digitize tool. To digitize zigzag with Outline Digitize tool, you need to press the Shift key along with the F6 key. Using the F7 shortcut, you can create satin serial using the Digitize Outline tool. Using the F8 shortcut, you can create piping parts using the Pair Point Digitize tool. Likewise, pressing the Shift key with the F8 key, you can create piping parts using the Outline Digitize tool. Finally, using the F2 shortcut, you can digitize manual stitches which is a special type of running stitches. That's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe and come back for more videos describing each Digitize tool in further detail.